wild boars have evolved from being merely wild animals into highly invasive species that pose significant challenges to both ecosystems and human communities. Known for their rapid reproduction and destructive tendencies, these animals are now causing 3 times more damage than in previous years. Their intelligence, speed, and adaptability have made them particularly difficult to manage, prompting communities to seek effective and responsible control measures. In various parts of the world, especially within rugged terrains such as those found in dense forests, experienced individuals have engaged in wildlife management efforts aimed at addressing the growing wild boar population. In one such area, characterized by twisting trails and thick underbrush, careful observation of boar movement patterns is a key component of preparation. After long periods of waiting and surveillance, sightings of large boars often lead to swift, well-coordinated actions, as each response must be both timely and accurate. These efforts typically involve anticipating the presence of multiple animals, as wild boars tend to travel in groups, requiring strategic awareness of the broader environment. In some forested regions, teams employ a range of techniques to manage wild boar activity. This includes scouting, placing bait, setting up observation posts, and using natural cover to remain concealed. Strategic positioning along commonly used trails allows for a higher chance of success. Patience and timing are essential, and when the moment arrives, precise coordination enables an effective response. The ability to carry out such actions with discipline often determines the outcome of these efforts. In other locations, such as open grasslands where livestock are especially vulnerable to attacks, proactive measures include establishing lookout posts in high-risk areas. In these cases, the proximity of wild boars to domesticated animals demands immediate and accurate reactions. A single, well-placed intervention can prevent significant losses and protect vital resources. These incidents highlight the importance of skill, situational awareness, and preparedness in safeguarding agricultural operations. In colder regions such as the snow-covered mountains of Central Asia, environmental conditions add another layer of difficulty. Sub-zero temperatures, strong winds, and rugged landscapes test the resilience and observation skills of those involved in managing wildlife. Here, it becomes especially important to detect herds concealed within natural features like dry shrubs. Quick decisions, often made under intense pressure, are crucial. When the lead animal is identified and addressed, it can disrupt the entire group's movement, enabling effective population control in a humane and targeted manner. The coordination and strategies observed in these scenarios reflect a broader approach to wildlife management, one rooted in knowledge, patience, and respect for nature. Each carefully executed action is informed by detailed analysis of terrain, animal behavior, and environmental conditions. These methods aim to maintain ecological balance while minimizing the impact on surrounding communities and livestock. The reality of wild boar overpopulation is not confined to isolated incidents. In heavily affected forests, where the animals have become increasingly bold and destructive, targeted interventions are carried out to restore balance. Teams may use utility terrain vehicles, UTVs, to access remote areas and rely on trained animals such as hounds to track wild boars through thick brush. Elevated vantage points provide clear visibility, allowing for calculated decisions based on movement and behavior. Once an individual wild boar is identified, quick reactions are necessary to prevent the animal from escaping or triggering defensive behavior in the herd. Each step taken in these operations demonstrates the high level of preparation and teamwork required. Participants often divide into smaller groups, covering various paths and natural corridors to increase the likelihood of success. Constant vigilance is needed to detect any sign of movement, as wild boars can move swiftly and unpredictably through difficult terrain. These activities are not driven by recreation, but by the need to mitigate the ecological and economic damage caused by an unchecked wild boar population. Through informed strategies and careful coordination, communities strive to address the growing presence of wild boars in a manner that respects both safety and environmental responsibility. The challenges are considerable. But with continued dedication to humane and effective management, a balance between human activities and wildlife preservation remains a realistic goal. In many regions experiencing rising wild boar populations, coordinated wildlife management efforts are now critical for restoring balance to natural ecosystems and protecting agricultural areas. Wild boars, known for their speed, intelligence, and adaptability, often inhabit dense brush and mountainous terrain, making tracking and intervention particularly challenging. In heavily wooded areas, teams are deployed deep into the forest, navigating rugged trails while monitoring subtle signs along the forest floor. The process involves meticulous planning and quiet movement. Occasionally, unexpected rustling signals the sudden movement of a wild boar through thick vegetation, often resulting in a rapid response from the team. When animals break cover, such as when startled from hiding spots, their erratic movement can present a brief but critical window for safe and effective population control. Environmental conditions also play a significant role in shaping operations. In snow-covered mountain regions, for example, rapidly shifting weather patterns such as incoming storms and falling temperatures add urgency to these efforts. In one such instance, teams had only minutes to respond before the entire area became inaccessible due to snow cover. Amidst swirling snow and low visibility, large animals occasionally emerge from the landscape, prompting decisive, carefully planned action. Each decision is informed by situational awareness, with the goal of minimizing harm to both humans and wildlife. When a wild boar is located, swift intervention ensures that the immediate threat to farmland or surrounding ecosystems is neutralized. Once complete, the area is re-evaluated to confirm whether additional measures are required. In certain operations, coordinated teams utilize aerial support to monitor herds across expansive, difficult-to-access landscapes. Aerial observation offers a broader field of view and enables real-time coordination between teams. When wild boars are spotted near the edges of agricultural fields, pilots may assist by positioning the aircraft to give field teams clearer lines of sight. From above, teams track movement patterns and monitor damage to cropland. Wild boars, while foraging, often uproot large areas of earth, leaving behind visible signs of disruption. These signs are used to identify high-risk zones where management actions are most urgently needed. During one such operation, coordinated ground and aerial teams observed a group of wild boars foraging at the edge of a cultivated field. The terrain had already shown signs of disturbance. With precision and teamwork, the intervention was carried out quickly to mitigate further damage. Such efforts require significant preparation, including accurate equipment use, clear communication, and a deep understanding of animal behavior. The aerial component plays a particularly important role when wild boars begin moving rapidly across open areas. Teams stationed in helicopters monitor the group's movements and support efforts to redirect them away from populated or high-value zones. Each decision in the field is guided by safety protocols, environmental assessments, and humane population control principles. These activities reflect a broader strategy of sustainable wildlife management. Wild boars, while part of the natural environment, can become a serious threat to local agriculture, biodiversity, and even public safety when left unmanaged. Their numbers have grown rapidly in recent years, causing significant economic losses across various regions. Controlled population management, conducted through expert-led, regulated operations, is one of the few effective ways to address this growing issue without endangering surrounding communities or the broader ecosystem. By combining modern tracking methods, coordinated fieldwork, and responsible intervention practices, these efforts aim to strike a balance between ecological preservation and community protection. Through continued investment in training, technology, and research, wildlife management teams remain committed to safeguarding both natural habitats and human livelihoods. In areas experiencing overpopulation of wild boars, aerial surveillance has become a key component of wildlife management strategies. Aircraft are often used to monitor the movement of wild boar herds across open fields and forest edges. These animals are known for their intelligence and agility, frequently altering their paths to evade perceived threats, which can complicate efforts to manage their populations effectively. Experienced teams often coordinate closely with pilots to carry out carefully planned operations. In certain cases, when boars are observed causing damage to crops or encroaching upon farmland, rapid intervention becomes necessary. Despite the animal's evasive behavior, coordinated efforts involving trained personnel and precise communication ensure that actions are conducted efficiently and responsibly. The goal is always to mitigate further environmental or economic harm in the least disruptive way possible. When wild boars are startled by the presence of aircraft, they tend to disperse rapidly in various directions. In such scenarios, ground and aerial teams must respond with precision, ensuring public safety while adhering to regulations designed to protect the welfare of both humans and wildlife. Intervention techniques are carried out only when absolutely necessary to prevent large-scale destruction of farmland. In mountain regions, particularly during winter, wild boars often descend into lower elevation fields in search of food, as snow limits their access to natural forage. This seasonal behavior frequently leads to significant agricultural damage. It is not uncommon for boars to uproot entire fields, consume stored feed, or destroy fencing in their search for nourishment. Such activity can result in the loss of an entire season's work for local farmers. To prevent further destruction, wildlife management teams may deploy during extreme cold, supported by tracking dogs trained to detect animal scent even under snow. These dogs assist in locating herds more efficiently. When a dog detects a trail and signals, the team mobilizes carefully, minimizing stress to surrounding wildlife and ensuring public safety. As part of standard procedure, teams observe wild boar movement patterns and position themselves to respond if the animals threaten sensitive areas. In the case that a wild boar is encountered, the team takes action only when it is confirmed that the animal poses a risk to agricultural operations or community safety. Every decision is made based on environmental assessments, tracking data, and field expertise. Occasionally, herds emerge unexpectedly from dense foliage, prompting quick and measured response. Situational awareness, appropriate use of tools, and clear communication among team members are critical. Shots are only discharged under specific, regulated conditions to ensure humane and controlled outcomes. Due to the animal's speed and agility, effective action often requires precise timing. Boars can move quickly through forests and fields, making it difficult to manage the group without proper preparation. When necessary, follow-up procedures are initiated to track remaining individuals and minimize the chance of further crop destruction. As night approaches, visibility becomes a challenge. If boars are still active during this period, final monitoring is conducted to determine whether any urgent intervention is required before conditions become unsafe. Throughout, safety remains the top priority, both for team members and for any other wildlife in the area. These wildlife management operations are part of a broader conservation and land stewardship effort. Overpopulation of wild boars not only impacts agriculture, but also leads to long-term environmental degradation. Through structured, science-based approaches, trained professionals aim to reduce human-wildlife conflict while preserving ecological balance.